Now we're going to get into our anticipated games, things that we are excited about that are being released or showcased at Gencon 2025. Some of these games, or at least I tried not to pick ones that have came out already, but they might come out right before Gencon. I don't know. Although it's only like 2 weeks away. So some of these games might be available now. Some of them will be available in months from now, but they'll, have early release at Gencon. I'm sure some of the games we're talking about might just be demoed. But these are games that we found on the preview list on Board Game Geek. So thank you, Board Game Geek, for making this stuff available. I am proud to be a patron of a decade of their website. So wow. It's just such an amazing resource for just, the media and anyone looking for board games. So we're going to round robin this. This is not, or at least I believe all of us are like this. This is not in any particular order. Except for maybe like the last one you talk about might be more of your favorite or whatever. To me, it's just, there's not really much order until you get to like the last couple. So with that being said, I will begin. I'm going to share my screen here. And the first game I have on my list is Fountains. This is a game that is published by the Op Games. If you're watching the video later or you're watching the video of the podcast, you can see more of the credits. But this is designed by Kendrick Winks, published by the Op. And it is a game in which you are getting these tiles. And these look really thick. Have you all looked at anything about this game? Sorry.
No.
Yeah, I think it's gorgeous. I really like the look of it.
So I'm going to give you the 2-minute spiel without going into all the rules. Just give an overview. In the middle of the table, you're going to have, these pictures are kind of not super good for to show. Here we go. So, but I'll try to talk about the game as if you're listening to the podcast, not necessarily watching the video. This is a prototype image, but in the middle of the board, you have this circle, and this circle has 7 little circles that have 3 pawns. There's a green and a blue and a white. The picture I'm showing you has like really cheesy looking ones, but they're actually just wooden looking pawns like this. And on your turn, you can move them so far. I think it's like up to 2 spaces, and you hop over the other pawns, and you have to constantly go clockwise. And when you move a pawn and you land, there is a stack of tiles associated with that space, and you get one of those tiles and you place it in front of you, and you're going to make a fountain area. And you want the tiles, they stack on top of each other. So you're actually making like a 3D fountain. And some of these tiles that you get have these little splashes on them. And that's like an aerial view of like the water, spraying. So you want to put those up top because apparently the water needs to flow down to the other tiles to consider them for scoring. But what's really interesting is the scoring happens during the game, because if you ever move a colored pawn onto the colored space, so out of those 7 spaces that you're moving around, if you move the blue pawn and you land on the blue space, then it scores for whatever the blue scoring is. I think it's, I don't know. I don't remember what it was, but there's like scoring for fish and there's scoring for water features and stuff. I don't know. But it's really cool because like as you're playing the game, somebody might trigger scoring. And if people are starting to trigger the scoring more and more, it's like, okay, I guess I'll start building some of that stuff. But you keep going into one of these spaces, the stack of tiles next to it is empty. And then you play like the same number of turns and then the game ends. And I think there's some in-game scoring or whatever, but man, it is super cool looking. It has really cool pieces. They're really thick. I think the fish tokens and stuff kind of meh, right? Because they're like some weird shapes and I think they could have been cooler, like meeples or something. You would sit there and it would make it even cooler, like more beautiful looking, but
they could deluxify it that way.
They could deluxify it pretty well, but yeah, that's Fountains. It looks super cool.
I have to agree with you. This one looks really good. The tiles are all circles, but they have various shapes sort of cut out of them. Different arcs are cut out so that you can build them up and sort of fit them in with each other. And it's the overall effect is really beautiful.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to move on to George. You give us your game here.
All right. Before I start in on my list, I just want to say sort of what's not on my list. I didn't include any expansions. I didn't include anything that was on our Origins discussion. So there are a lot of things that released at Origins that are also releasing at Gencon, if they consider it a release, but it's on both lists. But I didn't pick any of those. And I tried not to pick games that it didn't have a lot of information about at all. There are quite a few there on the list that of releases where they just don't really tell you very much.
He just threw the dagger at James.
I wasn't entirely successful with that either myself. But then the last thing is I tried not to pick very small or small box games or very small card games, things like that. So there's a whole lot of those that I think look really good, but they won't appear on this list, except my first one. And so,
except the exception.
Except my exception. It's my number 10. I kind of did number mine, but my number 10, if you will, is... Oops, I need to get some ability to share my screen from the host. It is...
There you go.
All right, thank you. Trinket Trove. And Trinket Trove, a game that is by Rocco Privitera. The only other game I have of Rocco's is Ninja Dice. So
oh man, very familiar. You just instantly got me excited. Keep going.
And the publisher is Gamehead, which I'm also not that familiar with, but this is a game that has great art and seems like a very fun, very quick auction mechanism. So in the game itself, you have these characters that are all mice, and you're trying to collect little trinkets from a house. And the more that you collect of sets, then you're going to get more and more points. So that you have all of these items, and then each item has a sort of a varying amount of points that you get depending on how many you have at the end. And you're bidding with the items in order to win others of the items as well. So it's a very clever auction mechanism where you have to sort of be giving up things in order to get the things that you want, and you're handing them over to the other players, essentially, back and forth. And that sounds really interesting to me. Just a little card game, really pretty art, fun mechanism. That's my first one.
Yeah, the bidding is what what kept me from doing it. Because I just don't like bidding or auction games.
I usually don't either, and that's why it comes in at the very bottom of my list. But this one, the art really won me over. Trinket Trove looks like it's going to be worth trying out.
Nice. What you got, James?
Hey, so my number 10, since Tim said this was a top 10.
Number 10. We can just go on to the next one. We don't have to label them.
Nah. But so I am old, just like George. And right. I graduated in 1989 from high school. So my first game.
there's like some things you don't have to comment. No, I was kidding.
I got held back twice. No, I'm just kidding. I actually skipped a grade, so I would have been 89, but I was 88.
Oh, wow. Okay, that was a twist there. Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan or whatever.
He's all smart on us. So mine is Class of 89. It's a thematic board game set in the 1980s high school. It's designed by Corey Jordan and published by Paverson Games, which you should know them by, they put out Distilled.
Oh, really? Oh, what a good game.
That's another reason why this is kind of on my list, besides the theme of it is my theme right here, because it, as it says there, it says assemble a radical high school yearbook spread set in the late 80s.
Radical.
So it's definitely my time. Players take on the role of the yearbook club president, competing to create the most memorable yearbook spread by strategically placing tiles, collecting sets, and earning proximity bonuses. So you send uniquely skilled staff across the school to capture iconic senior year moments. I know that.
Do you think that means that your worker, like it's worker placement, and you're sending your staff and they have abilities? Do you think that's what that means?
Yes, it says it's a worker placement, set collection, and strategic tile placement with a focus on organizing the yearbook in alphabetical order for maximum points. So it's got pop references from the 80s. So I I don't have high hopes for it. That's why it's on my lowest list. But again, the theme is, I mean, I had to have it because Class of 89. I would have loved to go on the Gen Con and tested this, but I hope to test it. It says it's not going to release until late 2026. So it's going to be a while. Yeah. So they might have it next year at Origins for me to test or something. So I definitely
Well, I'm with you now that you mentioned
this out.
Yeah, that it's the distilled people. I'm definitely in.
Yes.
I mean, it's possible they could have some, pre-published copies or whatever, like where they have like 100 copies of it that they got done real fast. And then they're not going to go to print until later once they drive up some interest or whatever. But yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, that's Class of 89 by Paverson Games.
All right. My next game here is Cytress, Cytress. And what caught my eye about this one is it has a first off, it is designed by Sean Lee and published by Tress Games. It says one more, but I'm assuming it's Tress Games, Good Games Publishing. And what caught my eye is it's cyberpunk looking, and it has this very Everdell looking standee in the middle. So, just go with what works, right? Everdell made a big splash with the tree and the different levels and everything, and I just punched my mic. And but this has a couple of different levels, and you're putting cubes up on this thing. There's a bunch of, I really, the weird thing is I looked into this game, but I really didn't look into what is going on here, ironically. And that was the whole point that drew me into the game. But I like the cyberpunk, the bright pinks and purples, and check this out. The city has all these really cool like skyscraper pieces that you stack on top of each other, and it ends up making this big skyscraper looking metropolis thing. And this is like a mini map that you're putting cubes out on and stuff. And it has this, there's like effectively like 4 main actions, and you have a player card, and you're like, there's a yellow, purple, blue, and an orange action. And then you're sliding these cards onto the right and left of your player board, and it enhances what that action does, and all the different symbols that you add onto it give you, when an action happens, like you get a bunch of resources. So overall, though, it's like the design of it looks really cool. I like that it's kind of like a sci-fi cyberpunk Euro game. You know what I mean? It's not so much about hacking. It's like a cyberpunk game, not about hacking. But
I thought this was going to appeal to you. And I think that the color palette could have come right out of the Class of 89. Those colors.
It does got a really cool, it's like a modernized version of it though. It's not just,
it is. It's like a 80s kind of look, but it's still cyberpunk, which is interesting.
Yeah. You play a rebel merc who has zeroed in on one goal to get to Stratos, Earth's largest sky hub. So
that one board looked like the 3D chessboard from Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
I really do like the theme though, where you're part of the 99%, but you're trying to get into the 1%. Basically, they run everything.
It's kind of like the Elysium movie.
I was gonna say, isn't it a Matt Damon movie or something?
Yeah, Elysium.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like the aesthetic of the game. I like the color palette. It seems really neat. I like the fact that you're enhancing all your different actions and stuff. So anyway, that is Cytress.
All right. Looks good. We're back to me, yeah?
Yep.
All right. So my next one here, Natera, and it has New Beginning as the subtitle, even though it's the first Natera game, I think. But I guess the New Beginning is the new beginning of the natural era, which is where they get Natera from. So this is a game by Eric Fugere, Hugo Tremblay Ledoux. I'm sure I've said those really, really wrong. And it's published by Horizon Games. I don't know much about it. It's low on my list because it's a city building game, really. It seems like a medium to heavy Euro kind of city builder, which isn't my normal thing, but it has anthropomorphic animals. So
there it is. As your only, dear publishers, your only requirement for George to look at your game.
I mean, look at this. If you're not listening and you're just watching it,
They're raccoons with Starbucks.
Great art.
Yeah.
And it's your typical kind of Euro where you're collecting stuff. But here we've got an electrician kitten who's all tangled up in the wires. I mean, that's amazing. It's fantastic. You're going up
pieces
tracks.
look gorgeous, though.
Yes, they do.
I think
it really does look like good quality stuff.
I really hope we get to a point where these board game manufacturing companies all have like screen printing available on Meeples and wooden pieces, because it absolutely makes it next level. In this game, they have that screen printing. It's just black, but having something on there just absolutely changes the way the game looks aesthetically.
It looks sharp. It really does. And the other thing that I know about it is that this is one of those games that has a lot of cards, and the cards all have this great art on them with the animal people. So it's got 150 plus cards of that, all unique, from my understanding, which is very much like a Mars or Arc Nova kind of a thing. And I've enjoyed Arc Nova, so I don't know if this is anything like that, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
That's on my short list.
Very cool.
Terra.
Okay, my next one is mainly for me. I don't think anybody else is going to really.
No one else in the world.
Yeah, mine is Exit the Game Advent Calendar: The Intergalactic Race. It's the new one from this year. 2 years ago, my wife and I started a tradition. We started playing these every December, and just for just something to do. They're very small, 20-minute puzzles every day, approximately. Some are real easy, some are tougher. It's just the story is kind of childish, but it's fun. The first one, I can tell you, I can't remember which one we played, but it ended in the final story. It more or less ended as "be sure to drink your Ovaltine" moment. It was like, buy more Exit games. So that was kind of disappointing.
No spoilers.
Almost like it's a tutorial. Like,
no, it felt
thanks
like
for checking out this demo.
Yeah.
If you like this.
But the last year's was better.
Sorry.
The last year's was the Hollywood one. It was a good story, but it's just fun. Especially the Hollywood one had references to movies from the olden days. So yeah, I mean, this is all this is. It's a exit game. It's fun. You go through each day, 1 through 24. So on Christmas Eve, you'll finish it, and it's a fun little game. And we just have a good time with it every December. And I actually have 2 in the queue upstairs because we're that far behind. But I'm going to be buying this one. So,
well, let me ask you this:
2028.
Sierra and I have been interested in these before, but then we actually played exit games, and she doesn't really like them that much, which is fine.
Crystal didn't like exit games either, but she likes these.
Oh, okay.
Because they're small
simpler.
And they're not that long. Like,
do they tie into each other, like from day 1 to day 2? Are you using anything between them, or is it just theme?
No, not really. They have their own little separate window you open up and you play with whatever's in there. You use whatever's in there. I mean, you're going to use other stuff around, but it's rare. I don't recall using other things from other days.
Okay, so you don't have to remember, okay, in puzzle 3, we did this one thing, and then we need that as a clue for puzzle 10.
No, I say that and it happens or something. But, I always kept everything. I always keep everything, so in case, but I don't think I ever had to use it. But this one says, I think it adds something new. Maybe not. No, but it says that playtime 20 to 45 minutes, but it didn't. I don't recall ever taking 45 minutes for any of the days.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty good.
So the difficulty
everything in the game
too drastic at all.
Yeah, and the box always has hints. Let me show you.
Spoiler alert. No,
no, it doesn't show. I mean, there's the front. It's got a little rabbit. There you go, George. Surprised you didn't put this on your list.
Because this has an animal
Oh
sniper.
man,
There you go, man. That's all I needed.
that's
But
what
in the
I'm doing
back,
now.
This is in German, but because this was actually released last year in German, but it doesn't come out in the United States till this year. But you got these little, as you see this right here, it's got a little decoder, and that's what you got to figure out what numbers.
You've
put
got to
in
use
there.
that for each one.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're using that decoder for each one, and that points you to a new door. So if you flip it over, it's got arrows, and what it'll do is point you. You'll move along, and if it matches the symbols on the back, that's you got the right door. So that's how you know if you have the right door or not for the next day. Like, and it'll have riddle cards, like you see on the back of riddle cards. You have hints. It's rare. They're pretty easy, but there's times we had to use hints, especially the first time we played it, just because you're like, you didn't realize you're using everything. I mean, most likely on this back here, there's a hint that we don't know because we haven't played it yet. But on here, like the back and stuff, there's every part of it might have a hint somewhere. So it's pretty fun. I mean, if you like exit games, I recommend this, doing it every December, starting December 1st and just going through. Yeah. Have a good time while it's cold, miserable outside.
Well, we do like Advent calendars. We like Advent calendars, but we've been getting cheese and wine ones.
Ah, well, I had one as a kid. I think it was lollipops, but
oh, that's cool too, though.
So that's exit the game Advent calendar.
Nice. Right. And now we know that Father Christmas in Germany is a rabbit.
Yes, there you go.
Apparently.
My next game is a game designed by Jeff Grisenthwaite. I don't know how to say your last name. I apologize. But it's published by Spurk and Dagger Games. And this is... Am I sharing the right screen? Is it showing up?
It is.
All right, cool. This is Outfox the Fox. And the easiest way I can say this is it is a game for up to 10 players. And basically, from my understanding, there's not a lot of info on it, but except for like the back of the box and in a little bit of description. It seems like it's Boulder Dash meets Jeopardy, but they don't tell you the order of stuff. And as the rest of the people are trying to put them in the order that they think is most to least or whatever the case is. So it says choose the top 5 list. So this one's like most annoying pet peeves. And then you as the fox, everybody knows you're the fox, but you got to make up one thing. So like on the card, it says being late, loud chewing or drinking, taking or talking during a movie, micromanaging and interrupting. So you have to add one in there. And from my understanding, you want to add one. I don't know if you want to add one that comes in third or if you want them to just pick that as being the most annoying, but you don't want to give it away, I guess. But the point is everybody else is trying to guess the order that these would come in, like a Jeopardy style, like the people voted most for this one, second most, not Jeopardy. I keep saying Jeopardy, but I meant Family Feud. Yes. Yeah. The internet's going crazy right now. Comments, keyboard warriors. So like whoever, they're putting it in order, but they also have to point out which one they think the fox wrote or made up or whatever. And how high you get as the fox gives you more points. So everybody else gets points based on getting them right in the correct order, but the fox gets more points the higher up they put it. But then obviously you don't want to give it away too much and put something that's incredibly annoying. So seems kind of fun.
Yes.
Fun little party game. I like when Smirk and Dagger comes out with these little party games, but I love all their other games too. So Kurt's putting out lots of good stuff every year.
This one looks tremendous. I sort of on purpose didn't put a lot of little party games and stuff on my list, but this one would have made it. This one absolutely would have been an honorable mention for me.
Yeah. Ever since they released Adventure Party, I'm like, yeah, this is good. So
yeah.
What's your next one, George?
Looks pretty fun.
Okay, my next one is the one where I have the least information, I think, of the rest of mine, and it is a game called Arctica. This is a game by Remy, Matthew, and Sams. So that's almost everything I know about it, other than it is
I've never heard of this publisher.
Oh, sorry. The publisher is This Way.
Exclamation point.
Yeah. Right. Okay, but you have heard of these designers. Ancient Knowledge is one by Remy Matthew. And then Sam's, he's done Ice, which is another game that's coming out at Gencon that looks very good. So this is the one picture that really sold me on this game. And if you can sort of picture this, you have a board that is a personal board with several gears on it. And so you're turning these gears and you have some sort of resources that are going around on these gears. And you have a map of the Antarctic with a couple levels on it. So there's something that's probably being rotated in the center of this as well. But you're trying to do area control with all of these interconnected areas, is my guess. And the area acting are going to be habitats for various Arctic, did I say Antarctic? Sorry, Arctic animals.
I was going to say, I saw an otter. You're a liar. That's the reason you picked this game.
It's not an otter. That is a weasel. But
No weasel.
But that's right.
It kind of looked like an otter from a distance.
Right, this art, that's the only sample art I have, but I'm completely in. It looks like art from Meadow or something like that. I'm definitely.
It does look like Meadow for sure.
Yeah, all Arctic animals and trying to. I'm assuming protect them. That would be my guess.
Go back to the main page. What I'll say,
Sure.
It looks really cool is it seems like you have that Zolkin mechanism, but for your personal, like you're not sharing that, but then you're manipulating like a shared board in the middle. And that's kind of cool. I don't think anyone's really capitalized off the mechanism that's in Zolkin with the gears and stuff. So it's cool to see that come back in a different game.
Yeah, this one does look sharp. There was one other game. Interestingly, when people get ideas, sometimes they all kind of come together. There is another game that's releasing at Gen Con that uses gears with that same sort of thing where it's a personal board and things are moving around. I can't remember the name right now. I apologize. But there is one other, interestingly.
I was going to have you go back to the main page and look at the mechanisms that are in the game.
The multi-use cards catches my
there we
attention.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Anytime you see multi-use cards, that's awesome. Lagrange style, that's good stuff. Zone of control.
Yeah.
Yes.
This just looks so good to me, and I don't even have that much information yet, so it's definitely going to be high on my list once we get more. Can't wait to see more of that art.
Cool.
Arctica.
I'm excited now too.
So my next one is my last one I picked because of personal reasons. When I grew up in Fort Myers, Florida, and my mother had friends over in Sanibel Island, and we'd go over there all the time. So I barely remember it, but so this is a personal connection. But my next one is Sanibel, and it's designed by Elizabeth Hargrave. I don't know if you know who that is. That's a joke. Wingspan designer, very famous designer, and published by Avalon Hill, which I always associate with war games. I tried to watch a video on this, and they just mainly talked about themselves, the designers and the artists and stuff. So instead of the game, they kind of showed the game. So I don't know exactly what it's about, but they say it's a nature-inspired board game, and it's captures the serene experience of collecting seashells on Florida's Sanibel Island. They move along a beach-themed board, which the picture you see here is that's what they're moving the people along the board to collect those tiles.
It's like you're walking along the beach.
Right.
You're walking along the beach, either get shells or shark's teeth.
And those shells are tangram shapes, so you've got to be putting them together on your board in a certain way. And
they described it as, which I didn't see this part, when you put them on your own board, they described it as Tetris. So I don't know if you put it whatever the columns on your own board. Unfortunately, there's not a picture on here that shows that. You kind of
and they slide down like Tetris does.
Yes, that's what I heard.
Ooh.
That kind of. I've bought games before because my wife likes Tetris, the video game, but then some of the games I bought that has the Tetris style she didn't like, so that's why I'm kind of hesitant. But again, it's the theme that gets me, because again, I grew up near Sanibel Island a long time ago, long time ago. Elvis was still alive.
Class of '89.
That's how old. Yes, and because we moved out of there when I was 7 or 6 or 7, so I don't remember it that well. But no, enough about my history. But it's saying it's your turn order, you're trying to time it, and I think what I recall her saying is it's like patchwork style, is where whoever's in the last place gets to go. So you can, if you go too far ahead to get some juicy tile that you need, you might be giving other players a bunch of turns before you get to go again.
Okay, so yeah, Tokaido kind of travel.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. I would actually like to see this. It's coming out again, and so this is a demo in Gencon. It's out, released early 2026 is what they're saying. It says it blends tile placement, pattern building, and open drafting for a relaxing yet engaging experience. But
well, I mean, that's definitely hits home, because everybody, or most people, I think, have walked down beaches and collecting seashells, and
yes,
especially if you have kids or as a kid. So that looks really cool. I like it.
Yeah,
that's Sanibel by Elizabeth Hargrave.
All right, my next one is an expansion to a game I really enjoy, and that is A War of Whispers, Expansion of Influence, which is kind of fun. I never thought about it. Expansion of Influence. It gives it away in the title. There are no images on here, but Chris Yee at the Dice Tower. What's up, Chris? Good guy. I like him. Really funny guy. Anyway, this is the Dice Tower video, so I'll just click through that. But basically, if you're not familiar with A War of Whispers, it is a game where there's a map in the middle and there's all these different factions, right? And then you don't actually control a faction. What you do is you want, at the end of the game, certain cities to make, or to have control. I said cities. You want certain factions to have control of cities. So maybe you want the blue faction to be the winning faction, essentially. Because on your board, you have these discs of all the factions, and they're face down and they're randomized. Then you look at them in secret and you say, okay, the blue faction, then red, then yellow. I forget the colors. And that's the order, because you're going to get points for that. So you're going to get the most points for blue taking control of cities, but you'll get the second most for yellow or whatever color is there. And so you don't know what other players have and what order they have their, factions face down. And so you're taking these actions to control the different factions and move them around and take over cities and fight other people in the area control in the different spots. But you don't know who is going for stuff. And so it's just really cool, because you're not fighting like my guys versus your guys. You just don't care, as long as, blue's taking over a lot of cities or whatever. This board, well, first off, the expansion, the one thing I'm kind of meh about is that it comes with a new board that you use. So if you're not using the expansion, you use the base board. If you're using the expansion, you use this board, and all it does is add stuff to the board, which I'm never a fan of replacing a major component in the game with an expansion, but whatever. This one up at the top right has a guild area that when you put these little guys and this little meeple on, and you leave it there, it actually powers up the action as the longer you stay there. And that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is there's an island that they've added off to the top left. And that's like almost like a barbarian horde. They travel like their boats, and they just randomly pop up where their little tiles are on the map. These little, crossed, there's black little chits that go on the different spaces, and it looks like a skull and crossbones type of deal, but they'll pop up there and just kind of disrupt plans and such. The other thing is they've kind of redesigned how you do your faction selection. Instead of randomizing it, you put out these cards, and the cards will tell you like number 6, and everybody uses whatever's on the number 6, and it will make everybody have like a very balanced setup in what factions are going for. Because before, if multiple people had the same setup, they're going to be doing a lot of the same stuff. And it almost becomes, it doesn't become a 2 versus 1 or a 3 versus 1 type of deal if you're playing 4 players, but it can feel like that because they're going for the same factions in the same order, but you don't know that. They're just happening to be doing that naturally. So they've kind of fixed that problem with this. And I think it's a really cool game. I don't know if it adds any more cards to the different decks, but the decks didn't have a lot of options in them. There's like 4 or 5 different cards in each deck. So it'd be cool if it adds some more of those, but I'm looking forward to it. It's a really cool game. Can't remember if y'all played that with us. Like, do you remember that, George?
Yeah. I really liked it. I really enjoyed that one.
I thought you did. So yeah, that's designed by Jeremy Stolzfus, and it says Tabletop Tycoon publisher.
Did you say, is it area control?
I mean, it's not really, I guess it is area control to a certain degree, but I can't remember because it's been a while since I played the base game. But if I remember correctly, it's not necessarily area control, because I think only one faction can be on a space at a time, then they fight or something.
Okay.
Yeah, you want the cities from what I recall.
Yeah, you want to take over the cities that are there. So
yeah.
This definitely looks like a Tim game.
It's cool.
It is a Tim game, but I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it.
I'm not a huge
I give this one a thumbs up.
Like a Risk, like dudes on a map type of game, but I love games like this where it's dudes on a map is happening, but you're not necessarily one of those dudes because you're playing from the shadows and you're just trying to dictate the outcome of what's happening, but everybody else is trying to deduce what type of outcome you want to happen. And it's such a fantastic game.
And there are certain actions that are going to be available to you, and then you're trying to outthink the other person. Like, okay, they're going to do this, and if they do that, that means I'm going to do this, and that's going to I like that.
It's a cool game. Yep, War of Whispers, expansion of influence.
Fantastic. All right, my next is going to be Flip Toon. I almost said Flip Town. Flip Toons, and this is a game that is a deck building game. And so you're going to be getting all of these cards that come into your deck. They all represent different cartoon characters, like from Toontown kind of thing, that want to be in the next big animated production. So the art is all of these animated characters from yesteryear, and it's just a beautiful style. But instead of just playing a deck builder where you get a hand of cards and you lay out the ones that you want to play in a certain order, in this game, you're actually each round creating a 3x2 grid with your cards. So your placement of cards within the grid is going to matter. It's going to affect other cards and the things that you achieve. You're trying to get these fame points during the game. And you're also trying to get money so you can buy more cards and add more cast members. But you can also sacrifice fame points in order to let people go. They're just not good enough. They didn't make it to the big time, and you can get them out of your deck. But what I also really like about the idea of this, I enjoy deck builders in general, but if somebody is better at deck building, usually they're going to run away with it. And that's usually not me. But in this one, if you get to a point where somebody can generate 30 fame points in one play of 6 cards, then they trigger the end game called the final flip. It doesn't mean they've won the game. They get a few extra points toward winning the game, but not very many. And everyone gets a final flip. And the person who gets the most points during that final flip wins the game. And that could be the person who's not so good. Is it? I don't know.
You go back to it and see if it re-implements Flip City. You basically just described Flip City.
Let's see.
I mean,
where would it say that?
At the very top. It doesn't, but...
Okay,
wow.
I should have said things like the designers. The designers are Jordi, Aiden, and Simos. I'm sure that's not right. The artist, I should mention because it's so good, is Diego Sa or Shah, and the publisher is Thunderworks Games. So I don't know.
I love Thunderworks, but let's click on the designers and see.
Let's see if they're related.
Yeah.
Flip City. All right.
It really sounds very Flip City to me.
All right. Well, let's see. Jordy Aiden did
CL 35.
He did Cartographers, Stone Spire Architects. What else?
He did a lot of Cartographers, like most of his stuff. Really did. Which, by the way, is a fantastic game. Obviously, probably everybody listening to this has played it, but if you are one of the rare people who have not and you don't mind flipping rights, it is fantastic.
No, that's it. All right.
Man.
Then this guy, he also did a bunch of things I've never heard of.
All right, well, cool. Maybe
quite a few of these, they work together, actually. They work together quite a bit.
And maybe it doesn't play like Flip City, but it really gives me Flip City vibes, and I don't mind that game. I think it's really good. So yeah, this is I'm more excited about it than I was when you first started.
Fliptoons has great art, and it has your kind of typical just deck building sort of action, and yet the 3x2 grid makes it different, and the end game seems like it would give everybody a chance. That's why I'm into that one. Fliptoons.
Cool.
Okay, my next one is Flintlock Global Warfare in 20 minutes. And the main reason I really like tug of war games. I don't know why. I've always wondered why I like them, but every time I play one, I kind of like them. And that's what this is. Well, I'll say it's designed by Paulo Mori and published by Floodgate Games. It's just a re-implementation of Blitzkrieg World War II in 20 minutes. It's just, you have these areas and this is the only picture they have of it. And the funny thing is the picture says 7 years war in 20 minutes instead of global warfare in 20 minutes. So I don't know what the name is going to be, but so it says recreate the 7 years war and French and Indian war in 20 minutes. So you just have areas, you're playing cards to try to get influence in certain areas of the board. It's just a small little board, and it'll have like 6 or 7 different areas that you can move your tokens back and forth. And you're trying to move the cube over to your side. And at the end of the game, you want the most points by getting these cubes over to your side. And like obviously a tug of war. And so it's just a fun game. I'm always looking for short games because Crystal will always say, we only have 20 minutes, let's play a game. And so I'm always looking for those type of games. And I don't remember what she thought of Blitzkrieg because we've played that before, but I really like it. And that's Flintlock Global Warfare in 20 minutes. So, and it's pretty spot on when I remember playing it. It's about 20 minutes.
It's about 3 minutes a year.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
So that's Flintlock Global Warfare.
Fast forward war. Cool.
That was short and sweet.
Yeah. Since this, you might be interested in this one. I think George might be too. This one's Timber Town. It's a 2-player game. It's a tile laying game, and it's by Ryan Boucher, and it's from Alley Cat Games. And what's interesting about this one is there's in the middle, there are these little river tiles. Each one has 3 river boards, and each one has 3 tiles on it. Think Carcassonne. And so 3 Carcassonne tiles on it. And you take turns. One player is basically like the crown and the other person's the heart. And you take turns because these river tiles, like the first sliver river tile is like, a crown. So the crown player gets to pick a tile from this river, but they have to put it in the same column in which the river tile is in front of it. So if you're playing 2 players, you've got your board. It's a 4x4 grid that you're going to fill up by the end of the game of these Carcassonne-like tiles. Your opponent has one in front of them, and in the middle of you put those river, I'm just punching my mic all over the place. You're putting the river boards, like basically in unison with the columns that you're going to be drafting them to. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, that's the source for you to get your tiles, and you have to correspond where you put them on your board to where you've taken them from.
Exactly. And so
Okay.
from my understanding, because they're on the opposite side, they're going to take from the right river one and put it on their number 1 column, whereas you're going to take on the left river board and put it on your number 1 column. But anyway, you're just building these this board. And what's really cool is it has a very, speaking of cartographers a few minutes ago, it has a cartographer style scoring system where it's like, pairs of this, or if you have things that can make a river go all the way across the board and blah, blah, blah. And,
Okay.
it's got some really cool scoring mechanisms to it. On top of that, it has pieces that you can place, these little meeples, and some of them will actually, like, I guess, circumvent the adjacency. Like you can put this here and now it's adjacent to another tile, or, they have the tiles, instead of like roads, they have like these little wooden platforms that go from tile to tile.
I
And
see. The whole thing is floating. Got it.
yeah, it's floating
Timber
right
town.
down the river.
Yep.
Right. And so
Makes sense.
you might not be able to place a tile because it has to be able to place perfectly, but you can ignore features by placing, meeples on it. So now you can combine 2 tiles together that necessarily couldn't before. And it seems like a pretty short and sweet game and a little bit puzzly where you put the pieces. And then once you draft pieces, you eliminate some of the other leftover pieces on the boards, but then the river shifts, because it's all floating down river. So you move the right river board and put a left river board. For a 2-player game, it looks really cool. I mean, and it
does look clever.
Yeah, it's a really clever mechanism, and it's in an infinite amount of Carcassonne style games, this one just stood out to me, and I usually don't put these type of games on my lists. So really
It's
cool.
really attractive as well.
Yeah, the art is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Meeples
that
too.
is
Meeples are nice.
yeah, again, that screen printed meeples, it really does make them stand out
Yeah.
crazily. So
I wonder if those cards that you're going for, like particular shapes and things like that, if that's public knowledge or if those are hidden goals.
yeah, they're out. They're public.
Okay. That would make it more interesting as you take things from the central board. You would know if the other person was going for that or not.
Yeah, I don't know if you have those individually or if they're global. And I'm not entirely sure if you have any objectives that you're trying to complete yourself, but
Yeah.
we're not trying to learn everything about these games when we talk about them. So
It looks interesting. Looks good.
yeah, that's Timber Town.
Nice. All right. My next one is going to be Tea Witches. This is by the same artist who did Flamecraft and Critter Kitchen. If you may recognize the style, I rather like it. The publisher is the Op Games, and the designer is Manny Vega, who I believe is the designer for Critter Kitchen as well. So the game itself, you are going to be having locations that you can go to, worker placement style, very similar to Flamecraft, and you have different kinds of tea that are in the center of the board. And I think actually this is going to rotate so that the various kinds are located at different shops during the game. And you're going to be sending out your workers with in your color to go pick up tea and bring them back so that you can brew them up in your shop into specific formulations and then eventually serve them to people that come and want a certain kind of tea. So there's going to be regulars to your shop that you can serve, and then you have to keep serving them basically as the game goes along. You don't want to be disloyal to your loyal customers. And then there will also be others who come to your shop and cause problems. And if you don't meet their needs, they're going to hex you, which is going to cause some kind of magical problem for you. And then finally, there are these celebrities that will come, and you can get extra points by serving your tea to the rich and famous, I suppose. But the whole thing is worker placement, sort of Flamecraft-esque, kind of cozy, charming.
Is it the same artist?
It is absolutely the same artist, yeah.
same designer. I mean, like the tiles look like the locations. Everything is really similar looking.
Yeah,
Just in
it
a
is the
different
same
shape.
designer as well.
All right,
Yeah,
I
this
really
is-
hope it's not a. All right, guys, we did really good this first time. Let's shake it up and put it back out.
I think it'll be different enough.
Yeah, when I looked at it, I thought Flamecraft. And I was like, well, I already have Flamecraft, so
Oh
Yeah,
man, that's sad.
that's
That sucks because like you want to make it different enough to where it's like, oh, that's like looks familiar, like it could be cool like Flamecraft, but it's different enough immediately. So we'll see.
I have the feeling it will be. I know that it has similarities because of the worker placement and the, you're collecting resources in order to fill contracts. Okay, there are similarities for sure, but I think there's going to be enough different here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. T-Witches.
Neat. Yeah.
So there's a joke with my groups that I don't really care for co-ops, and which I play a bunch, so that's not true, kind of. But I was also a controversial take. I don't like Pandemic, but I like games with pandemic mechanisms in it, like Professor Evil and the Citadel of Time, and my next one, Horrified. For some reason, I just love Horrified. And the newest one this year is coming out. It's Horrified Dungeons and Dragons. And yes, they're all pretty much the same. And do I really need another version of it? Yes, I do. Because I'm a board gamer. It is designed by Peter Lee and put out by Ravensburger. And this one,
hold on. What I just said about the dude that did Flamecraft, never mind.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that when I said that about Flamecraft. And I was like, well, my next one is
Horrified.
Something I already have 3 copies of the different versions.
Milking edition.
So, I mean, I grew up in a long time ago. We've discussed that already, but
sure. Playing
Dungeons and Dragons were big when I was younger. And
you had the red box, I'm sure.
Yes, I did. We all
I still got the red box. It's not complete, but I do.
But this is just more or less more Horrified, but with Dungeons and Dragons theme. There's the box, and what really sells me, and if you remember, there's an old video game called Eye of the Beholder, and that's like my favorite monster from Dungeons and Dragons. And there it is. There's the board. Like I said, if you've seen Horrified, you've seen this board. Just different locations. I mean, it's really good. I think I like where you have to do missions and you're trying to do stuff to kill the monster and have to do certain things, and then you deliver these NPCs to certain locations that pop up. I think that's why I like Horrified. And right there's the plastic Eye of the Beholder.
Very nice.
It's really the same game. It just has, instead of monsters, movie monsters, it has D&D monsters.
Dungeons and Dragons monsters.
Of course.
There's a dragon, Eye of the Beholder.
They're not compatible with each other at all, right?
Well, this one says it's cross-compatible with Horrified Greek monsters and World of Monsters. So I don't know how it says offering mix and match potential. So I don't.
Oh my gosh!
I wonder if there's something going on there. I mean, I've got both those. The only one I don't have is the original one for some odd reason. I've got to fix that eventually. But this one I will definitely. This comes out. It says August 10th. So
I don't know about
be for sale
mixing them up. That seems kind of strange to me. Abbott and Costello versus the Displacer Beast.
Well, you only use one of them anyway, don't you? Or no? How many do you use in each game?
I think 2. It depends on player count, I think.
Yeah, maybe you do use one. Sorry, I've only really played it one time.
And how hard you want it to be, I guess, is that you can
you can use 3 or 4 probably. Yeah.
You could have a wizard fighting Frankenstein or stuff like that. That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Or Greek monsters, which I guess Pegasus. He's not a monster, but Medusa. Having a wizard fight Medusa. It's pretty much an Eye of the Beholder. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, spoiler, most of these games I'll probably be buying later on. Hopefully the wife's not listening to this. But yes, that's what I'll be looking forward to.
Have to report back. Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, which uses the pandemic method, the card with the cards and stuff, how pandemic works. And you're trying to, it's more or less a time. Yeah. Right there. It's just showing you different locations of the dragon, and I guess that's one of the people you're playing, and that's an NPC you're trying to pull with you. I do want to note my friend he taught us the rules wrong, so we played it on advanced mode for a long time where you couldn't pass through the monster's location or it'd kill the NPC. Well, once I read the rules, that's not true. You can't. They'll attack the NPC first if they're in the same location. Otherwise, they won't automatically kill the NPC. So
you self-handicapped.
Right. Yeah. It was tough playing that way.
And now it's so easy.
It's still
now we're
hard.
like experts and we just destroy the game.
But yes, that is. It says terror is in the eye of the beholder.
Nice.
Horrified Dungeons and Dragons. So that's mine. Number 6.
All right. Well, James was talking about liking tug of war games, and maybe he'll be interested in this one. I don't know if you even looked at it at all, but this is Rival Cities, and it's designed by Andreas Stedding, and its publisher, at least I guess in the US, is going to be Pegasus Spiel. This game is a 2-player only game, 30 to 45 minutes. There's a lot of stuff setting up, but basically you have a board in the middle of the table that has all these different components on it, like ships that you can buy. They have these lawsuits that are kind of near the top. I'll talk about those here in a second. But then around the board, you will put basically 5 of these small cards on all 4 sides of this square board. And those are action spaces. And much like games like Francis Drake, you will take turns moving around this little pawn, but you can move it as far as you want. Well, kind of. You can move it a couple of spaces for free, but then you have to pay to move it farther. And you're going to take the action of the space it lands on. And then the next person's going to go and do the same thing with the same pawn. And there's this little bell, and I guess that's like the round is done. I don't remember how many times you do that or whatever, but basically you're running around this board, getting resources to buy these ships to put in front of you. And also in the middle of the board, from my understanding, there's this tug of war track. And if you move the little heart symbol all the way to your side, you instant win. Otherwise, the game has like so many rounds that you play it. But as you're running around as well, you have these little lawsuits, and they each have their own tug of war to denote how much, I don't know if it's influence or whatever you have with this lawsuit. But once you move the token far enough on your side, then you can take an action to settle the lawsuit, and you get the card and like resources that are on it and stuff. But for a 2-player game, it looks complicated enough. I wonder what they rated, a 2.6 on the weight out of 5. The components look really cool. It seems like a little bit more deep and involved 2-player game than you would normally see, as opposed to, stuff like I was just talking about, that Timber Woods. What was it called? Timber River. Oh my gosh.
Timbertown.
Timbertown. Yeah. It's like 5 seconds ago and I forgot. So mechanism, sudden death ending. Looks pretty cool. I'm excited by it. And I guess, I don't know, it's like the most 2-player games I've put on a list before.
And that was on my honorable mention. It was just, I would love it, but Crystal would not, since it's so fiddly looking, all that stuff, all the complications. She's like, this is too much. I don't want to think while I play board games. Me, I do. So yes, that's definitely on my honorable mention. I really was interested in that, especially because like you said, for the tug of war aspect.
Nice.
All right. Okay, my next one is my number 5, and this one is an odd one, and it's an odd choice for me as well. It's called the Voynich Puzzle, and the game itself is based on the Voynich manuscript, which is a book that is written in a language that people have not figured out yet, and it's full of all of these strange illustrations of natural things, as well as some bathing women and just various. It's 240 pages of just various illustrated codex that has all these natural things in it, and nobody knows who wrote it. In fact, it's named after a purchaser, someone who bought it in 1912. It's the name shouldn't, I feel like it shouldn't be named after somebody who bought it. It should just be named after the first person
Like
known
the
to have
discoverer.
owned it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the game is one in which you're trying to decipher the Voynich manuscript, which is pretty odd. Here's some of the art. There's some of the bathing people from the manuscript. The cards have some art on them as well. You're sort of putting together your own little manuscripts, little books as you do this, but you're doing so in a heavy Euro style game. And the reason this shows up on my list at all, really, is because it is designed by Danny Garcia. And the last game I played by Danny Garcia was tremendous, Windmill Valley.
Mm.
He also did Barcelona. So I trust the designer for sure, for heavier Euros that I actually enjoy, and there aren't that many of those. The publisher is Salt and Pepper Games, and that's most of what I know about it, and that's okay because most people don't know much about anything about the manuscript either. It's just, it could be a hoax, it could be a language that we haven't figured out yet, but is actually genuine. It could be related to some kind of strange old Latin. It could have been written in code. We don't know, but it's interesting that somebody's made a game out of it now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. As a matter of fact, as it interested me so much that I brought it up on a different website and I was reading about it real fast and looking at pictures. I was like, well, I'm just going to say I don't know if no one thinks that people just didn't do anything for fun back in the day. So maybe
it could be just a hoax.
Yeah.
It could absolutely be. We don't know, but it's a 15th century manuscript that first was uncovered in the 17th century, and nobody's figured it out since then.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
The Voynich puzzle.
So my next one is Knitting Circle, designed by Emily Vincent and artist Beth Sobel, published by Flat Out Games. This is a game that's in the Calico universe. If you've ever played Calico, it's
top game.
Competing as knitters to craft the coziest garments. So you're trying to do sweaters and knit scarves.
Are you making them out of cats?
No,
no, just kidding.
I think you're trying to attract the cats to do to scratch them or something. So you're with the grabby paw mechanic, letting cats snag extra yarn for you, I guess is what they're playing with the yarn, and you can grab extra yarn from them.
You're not letting them. You can't stop them.
You draft the yarn tiles from a central rondelle, which I like a lot. I like rondelles in games, so that caught my attention. I actually have backed this on Kickstarter, so I will be getting this. But I'm looking forward to it. I like Calico a lot. I think Cascadia is better, but Calico I like a lot. So that's what really interests me. We've all three of those universe games we play a lot here, so I think this would get a lot of play here. It says you knit the yarn into using cat meeples. So George, using cat meeples. I'm not a cat person. I'm a dog person, but that's fine mainly because I'm allergic to cats. Oh, no. And it says then you knit them into garments, scarves, or mittens. I'm sorry, not sweaters, but mittens, scarves, or mittens.
For kittens.
On your own player board, matching colors and knit purl patterns. Points are earned by completing garments, adding buttons, and fulfilling variable scoring goals. So it's pretty much sounds like it's like a different take on Calico. Probably it doesn't. I don't think it's as confining as Calico is. It's not as a puzzly game as Calico. It looks it does look like a puzzle game, but it's not as right there. You're saying, well, that's why I thought sweaters, because there's that token that has a sweater. But
my hope
there's
they're not as high as Calico, but that's a
Right.
very, very high bar. So
Right.
I'm
I
I'm looking
agree.
forward to it at any rate.
I think it'll be fun. And that's why, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's on Steam for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, Calico is. I wonder if they did this one at the same time.
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But that's Calico, or not, no, you got me saying it's Knitting Circle, and by Emily Vincent and Beth Sobel. That's the artist, well-known artist there. Flat Out Games.
Great cover.
Yeah. My next game here is called Railroad Tiles. And if you're not familiar with, I think it's Railroad Inc. It is a roll and write railroad game where dice are rolled and you're drawing railroads and roads on a grid and trying to get points essentially. This is I guess a tile version of the game. It's it's not a roll and write. You have this board that has all these different spaces, and underneath the spaces you put so many tiles. So this one says to put 2, this one says to put 3, etc. And effectively you're taking turns taking one of those spaces and all the tiles that are there, and then you're building it in front of you. And then there's icons on these different railroad tiles, which will allow you to place these meeples on there, like cars and trains and people. And you're going to get points for different things by doing it. I didn't look super deep into this game on how all the rules work, but I will say this. I really like Railroad Inc. and I have multiple different versions of the game already. And I always thought, man, I really wish this was like not a roll and write. And it was.
Me too.
Yeah. Did you think that same thing? Really? Yeah. So when I saw this, I was
I'm into this now. Railroad Inc. I never liked because I don't like roll and writes. I don't like doing it. It just doesn't appeal to me. And there's so many of them, and they all bore me to tears. I don't want to be doing my own writing. I'd rather have tiles. This is much better.
Me.
Do what?
It hurts me, George.
This hurts you.
I'm sorry. It's just not a kind of game that I'm into. But now that they've turned it into an actual game with actual components, yeah, I'm definitely into that.
Yeah.
A friend of mine. Oh, sorry.
I was
a
going
friend
to say,
of mine sent me a picture of I'm looking at the collector's edition there. A friend of mine, he just got the collector's edition in the mail, I guess, and the box is huge.
Yeah. Well, that's why I brought up on here. If you type in railroad tiles in Board Game Geek, there are, it is releasing with like 9 expansions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 expansions, the base game, and some promo tiles. And I guess it's not hard to do because, I mean, it probably is mimicking a lot of the roll and write and all the expansions it had and all those different extra dice that you can add, and then just adding it in as expansions. So I think this is great. You know, normally I don't really care. It's like in reverse, right? They make a board game, they make a roll and write of it. This is like one of the few examples where it's like, it's a roll and write. All right, let's make a board game out of it.
Yeah. So, I love it.
That
super
geek rating
cool.
Looked kind of low. So I'm interested in hearing your take when you get back from Gen Con, if you see it.
Oh yeah. I'll probably play it first just to make sure, because Sierra, I can't remember how she liked Railroad Inc., whether or not it's the gameplay or if it was that it was a roll and write. So we'll try it out and I'll post back. But that is,
I'm interested. I'm interested to see the base game, right? And then I'll let everybody else play all these expansions and decide, which ones are the best. And I'll just add in like one.
That's fair. That's fair. You probably don't. I don't think you play with them all at the same time, because even in Railroad Inc., you choose like 1 or 2 or something and you add that in. I don't think you can play with everything at once. And this is likely the same. But this was published by Horrible Guild.
All right. My next is one that was published, I think, in 2020 before. I'm going to get this wrong, but something like that. And it's like only in Taiwan or something like that. And then, so now they're publishing it again, 2025, and it's called 12 Rivers.
That makes the very top where it says re-implements 12 Rivers, because I saw this and I was like, this looks pretty cool. And then you click it, you're like, what is it re-implementing itself? It's more like a second edition.
It really is. It's a second edition. That's true. Well, but I don't know. Do you have to say re-implements if you change some of the things about the gameplay? Because they did make some changes. Streamlining, which is always a good word in my opinion when it comes to a second edition. But the designer is Romain Chatterjan, and the publisher is Good Games Publishing. So 12 Rivers is a game where you have all of these pearls that start at the top of the mountain, the way pearls do. And then they get they get released and they wash down river. And so you put your workers in different choke points to catch them. And
it's like a marble run, the game.
Yes, it's like a marble run. It really is. And so the order that they come down and end up sort of being blocked by your workers is going to be important for the order in which they're collected. And you're collecting these pearls and putting them on these villagers of different kinds that want different kinds of pearls, as they do. And you're also ferrying them down to the villagers on your pearl alpaca. So
I can't tell if you're just being silly or sarcastic, or if you like this game or
It
not.
does say pearls. In the description, it says they're pearls.
yeah, I mean, you carry them down in your alpaca that carries pearls, and and then there's other things. There's all these cards that have incredible art on them. That is pretty much what I know about this game.
It is a competitive game, right? This is not cooperative. Because there's another one.
It is competitive. Yeah.
There's another one that's kind of like, it's got that similar marble run. I think it was Cosmos, or who was it? Amigo? I don't remember. It's a kid's game.
Yeah.
And it's co-op, but this looks competitive. Multi-use
this
cards.
is competitive. You're trying to snag those pearls and get them to the villagers before other people do.
Oh, it's only
Mountain
2-player?
pearls.
It's 2-player?
No, 2
2
to
to
4.
4.
2 to 4.
What? It says down there, it says family, players, 2-player only games. Something's wrong.
That is strange.
That is weird.
Yeah, you can pick up helpful fairy tokens as well, so that's exciting. And
I guess they explain away
bonus
the
goals.
pearls by calling them magic pearls. Because I mean, I don't
there
know
you
many
go.
mountain pearls.
You just
okay,
add magic
yeah.
to whatever.
Mountain
that's
oysters.
how they. That's a different thing.
Oh my God.
Not related to alpacas. Let's hope.
No.
But yeah, that's they're going to be coming down and collecting, and so you have to make a choice. Do you put your workers up at the top of the mountain to get your first choice of the pearls, right? But you get fewer of them probably. Or do you come sort of mid-level and try to have less selection? The good ones might be gone by then, but you'll get a few more. Or do you just take the ones that end up at the very base of the mountain and you get a whole bunch of the pearls that everyone else has let go? It seems interesting.
It looks cool, and it's definitely unique.
Yeah.
I check it out. I almost really dove deep into this one, but I decided not to for whatever reason.
Well, I'm gonna see if it's worth checking out, but that's on my list, and it's 12 Rivers by Good Games Publishing.
Cool.
Okay, my next one. I have a little trouble with the share button. Okay, here we go. It is a 2-player strategy game called Gatsby. Now, this one, it says it's like a tug of war, and it is kind of. I've played. This is on BGA right now, so you can play this right now, and I really enjoy this game on BGA.
So many tug of war games.
But I don't really see. It's more of a. I don't know if it's a tug of war. It's more, I would say, tracks, area control type game. And what you do at the bottom there, you'll see different actions you can do. You place your character. It's only 2-player only, so you're either the male or female, and I don't know if they're actually Gatsby, and I forget who he was in love with in the book. But what it does is it tells you where you can place your tokens. So like the martini glass, you place a token on the left side. There's 3 different sections, and the left section is your more or less pattern building. You're building off of your previously placed token. And depending on what location you hit or which icon you hit, then that will give you other powers, allow you to do other stuff. There is an element of take that in it. You see the hand icon there. What it's telling you is you have to tell the other player what action they take next. But you leave your token there so the next player can't take that action and you can't take that action the next turn. So you got to keep in mind which actions are going to be taken and which one. And you're also doing set collection. There's people you see on here, tiles you can collect depending on the horse racing side, which is the right side. If you have once all the token spaces are taken for each horse, then you count who has the majority. Who has the majority takes that tile. And there's other rules and stuff that allow you to look at these tiles, and you can switch tiles out. So hey, this is a really nice tile. This might help me win, but I don't want that person to get it. So I want to move it over here. So where I'm winning and I can take it later on. And the middle track is just a race up the track, and you go up there and you can take the tiles that way. And if you get, I think it's all 4 different tile colors, you can automatically win, or it's the majority of the stars on the people to give you the win at the end. So I don't know why they call it a tug of war, because it's not really a back and forth like that. It's more of a track and area majority. Also, on the left board, if you place your tokens on all 4 of these special squares, you get to take the special tile at the bottom. And it might be a really nice one down there too. So I failed to mention all the tiles, the people tiles, I guess you'd call them, they're all hidden at first. So they're hidden information. But there are things that make you flip the tiles over, or you can look at them yourself. And like I said, you could switch them if you need to. You could go to a place where you're winning and you most likely will get the tile. But it's actually a fun game, light game. And it's, if you like the theme, the roaring 1920s, I have to remind myself we are living in the 20s right now. So it's the 1920s. And so it's that theme, the Great Gatsby. And it's just a fun little light game. And definitely looking forward to this. It's called Gatsby by, I forgot to say, it's designer Bruno Cathala and Ludovic Maublanc.
Oh my gosh.
And publisher Ketchup Games.
Number 1, we have a lot of 2-player games on this list, which is kind of wild. And number 2, this looks like a roll and write, or like a roll and write that has those tokens that you place.
No. There's nothing wrong with roll and writes, but no, it's nothing.
I'm just kidding.
Like
it looks cool though. I actually thought about this one as well.
It does look nice. I like the look of it.
Yeah, the art is really nice.
Yeah.
The next one up for me is a little overwhelming to look at because there's just, man, I can imagine playing this game. It's called Phoenix New Horizon, and it's a worker placement game, very reminiscent to the style of post-apocalyptic theme that Fallout has. From my understanding, basically all these people are in a vault, and then they came up after the calamity or apocalypse or whatever happened, and they're trying to rebuild stuff. What is it? Years after seclusion underground, humanity emerges onto the surface, blah, 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 Fallout. Anyway, I'm sure it has a cool story. There's a massive board. There's a lot of different areas. There's all these spaces that you can put pieces on, and each player has like a board, I guess like Terra Mystica style. So as you get rid of, I'm saying that now I'm for some reason doubting myself. Terra Mystica, yeah, you're getting rid of stuff off your board and it unlocks stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
That's correct.
It's been a while and I'm tired now. So.
No, but you're right. That is how it works. Yeah.
Fair enough. On top of that, there is a worker board, which is really interesting because basically your workers have abilities or whatever, and you can upgrade them. And from what I was reading, if you upgrade them too much, then you can't do like basic abilities anymore. So you don't want to like take really cool actions until later in the game. but you could spend actions to upgrade your workers and move them along these tracks to make them have really cool actions, but then you can't get like basic resources. So it's really
specialized.
Yeah, they're too specialized, right? They're like, I ain't gonna do that grunt stuff. But it's got a ton of pieces. It's got these tracks that kind of remind me, I want to think Revive, but I can't remember for sure. But you're moving up on these tracks and you're unlocking stuff as you move up them. And once you get to the end, you get something really cool. It has a lot of stuff going on.
It does. What is the weight?
The weight says 3.26. So it's a little bit high, probably like a heavy medium to a light heavy. That makes sense. Like a 3.26.
Yeah.
But it's
got a look, that's for sure.
Yeah, it looks super cool. I really like the art style, and it's just stuff is everywhere, but it really doesn't look that complicated when you look at it. It's just a lot of places to put things. It's highly.
I don't know. There's a lot.
There is a lot. Yeah, I guess. There's cool looking little car meeples.
It looks
overwhelms
really
me. No, it doesn't. It looks like
it looks really good.
You're excited by it?
Yes. I don't know why I overlooked this. Is there an auction mechanic or something like that, or a bidding mechanic? That might be.
No, it just says connections, contracts, in-game bonuses, some income, variable setup, worker placement with different types of workers.
Yeah,
I would just have to look away when it's not my turn.
Just too much going on for you.
You have to constantly go back to the rule book to look up stuff. That's my type of game.
But yeah.
No joke.
No, it does. It's probably your kind of game, yeah.
Devere.
I don't know if this is coming out from Devere. I think it is in the U.S., and its designer is Jorge J. Barroso. Anyway, that is Phoenix New Horizon.
All right. My next one, what are we on? I'm on my number 3. So my number 3 is going to be a game that is called The Peak Team. A lot of games had "the" in the title this year, but The Peak Team Rangers is on the title, is on the box, but that's not actually there's no Rangers in the title.
You're sharing your Zoom screen.
Oh, am I?
This game's called Zoom.
Apologies. Try this again. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Peak Team. Okay. And this is by Scott Almes, which I haven't agreed with a lot of his games. But to be fair, he's got so many games. The fact that I would disagree with a lot of them doesn't mean that much. I do like some of his. I've liked Loop Incorporated. Beer and Bread is a really good 2-player game that he's done. And actually, I decided to give this one a try because the most recent Scott Almes game that I've played, I thought was really good. I played a prototype called Angel's Share, and that's another one. I think it's coming out this year, if not next year. Angel's Share is a tremendous game that I'm looking forward to. It is. It's about whiskey in Scotland, creation and marketing, and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. But it was good, and I don't go in for those kind of games. I don't go in for economic games, and this one really I enjoyed. Anyway, so I'm hoping that he's on a streak that I'll like, and this Peak Team is one that has a theme that I'm looking forward to. You're wildlife rangers, and so you're trying to protect these animals in this area where you're climbing around on these peaks. And so it's a cooperative game, but here's the hook as well. It's not a drafting game, it's a reverse drafting game. So instead of taking a card for yourself, you have to take a card and give it to another player each round, each step of the draft, which I think sounds really interesting. And you have to do it in such a way that eventually, working together, everything's going to come together, and you're going to do the right things in the right order to protect the various animals that you are encountering as you traipse around the habitat, the mountain. So it looks good.
It's giving me national trekking the world.
Yeah.
Vibes.
The look. Yeah.
At least the look. I mean, obviously the game's probably way different.
The art on the cards look like parks.
like second
It's got
edition.
a lot of vibes going on.
Yeah.
It does. But I'm interested in a reverse drafting co-op. I like the idea of that. So
Yeah, that's cool.
you have a certain number of actions that you get, and then you're done. So you have to do the right things in the right order and help the team out. And from what other people have said, it has 5 levels of difficulty, and the first level is hard. So I kind of like the sound of that. You
Peak
know,
team, level 2, nightmare mode.
Yeah, you don't want your co-ops to be too easy, so this sounds good. Peak team, the peak team.
So my
By
next
Matago.
one,
It's published by Matago, I should say.
yeah. My next one is don't listen to George or Tim. It is the Anarchy. It is what I've learned a new term, verb and write. So this one is a draft and write game. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, verb and write. I got you.
Yeah, verb.
You replace it
Yeah.
with a verb.
Right, like roll or draft
I got
or
tired.
flip.
I was like,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
And they don't want to listen to us because anything and right, we're like,
Right. This is a spiritual successor to Hadrian's Wall, which is an excellent game. This one is designed by Bobby Hill and its publisher Garfield Games and
Oh, you're all
Renegade
about the
Games.
Garfield games.
Yes. Hopefully the box is big enough for this game.
Well, all right, real quick. I'm just going to spoil alert. I saw somebody selling this on the flea market for Gencon, and he said it has split corners because Garfield Games doesn't know how to make big enough boxes.
Exactly. That's true. It's well known. But this is, it looks very similar to Hadrian's Wall. If you like Hadrian's Wall, they're even got cards that have the little meeples. They have the same meeples. The sheets look very similar, and that actually makes me very excited. I love Hadrian's Wall. This says it's a complex verb and write game. It involves resource management, chaining actions, which that makes a great verb and write, chaining actions, and tower defense mechanics, which is again Hadrian's Wall. You just draft objective cards, manage resources like silver and food, and use dice for castle defense, which I didn't see dice in the picture there.
Yeah, actually, if you look at the little castles that you have, if you zoom in one of those little castle boards, right there, you can put these, the walls, there's 4 walls, and you can flip them over to the different sides, and they have different star values, I guess, to enhance the defense of the wall, and then you can put the towers in the corners, and there's a die in the corner as well, and I guess you're protecting the different sides from stuff attacking it.
Yeah, I see that now. I see the dice in the picture. Oh,
Are you
makes it even better.
You're not attacking each other, are you?
No, I think cards come out and they're attacking you.
It's kind of like Hadrian's Wall, where the people I don't know what they're called now. The bad guys come and attack you, and you're trying to build up the wall to keep them out. But it also excited for me. It features a 20 chapter solo campaign.
There you go.
So this is definitely a buy from me. And it looks, if they say if you like Hadrian's Wall, you're going to like this, and I think I will. It has a weight of 4.0. And look at that, a rating of 8.4. So Tim and George are incorrect again.
No, I
20
looked
chapters,
in this game
though.
a lot.
Jeez.
I looked in this game pretty heavily, and I was really excited. So I will end up playing this.
You guys could make
that's
your.
crazy.
I'm not going to play it. You guys can make your own advent calendar out of the 20 chapters.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, there
Just
you go.
about.
Did he make Hadrian's Wall? Yeah,
He did.
Let's see what the weight of Hadrian's Wall is. 3.17.
Oh, it's heavier.
So
It's heavier.
it's heavier than Hadrian's Wall.
Spreadsheet, the game.
Is that what
This
you were
would be-
thinking as you were playing Hadrian's Wall? Gosh, I wish this were heavier.
Yes, always. I wish I had to go refer back to the rule book every time.
I always play games and I wish there was expansions.
Yeah.
Well, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is the Anarchy by Garfield Games.
Looks super cool. My next to last one here, I think, is a game called Karnak. And this is a dexterity game. This is a really interesting one because the way it's played, this is designed by Jasper Beatrix and it's published by DVC Games. I don't know that publisher, but
Oh, yeah, I do.
this game is basically, you have these cards and it tells you how you need to structure things, right? For instance, you might have this card that says 2 identical structures touching a solid mat lines. So you've got this little mat. I'm not super thrilled that that the board you play on is a piece of fabric, but it is. And you're taking pieces and you're placing it on the fabric, and the pieces are very Egyptian looking, right? You have like an ankh and an eyeball and some other stuff. And on your turn, you're placing pieces out on the mat to build structures. The cards that you have are in your hand. They're hidden. When you do the thing, you reveal it and you get it, you're going to get points from it, but people are taking the pieces and moving them around on this mat. And so you're kind of fighting over what pieces are being used and stuff. So
yeah. DVC Games, they did The Signal, which is like this, where you have a mat that you're putting pieces out on, and you're an alien and other people are trying to decipher what the rules are that you're following. So this kind of feels like a competitive version of The Signal. That sounds
that's
really
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Karnak.
Nice. My second game, I guess my number 2, is one called A Place for All My Books. And this is a game where you're going to be gathering books out of a bag. So I like bag building kinds of games. And you're going to be stacking them in your personal library in different ways to get different points, make different objectives. And you're trying to end up with the most books by the end of the game. That's enough for me.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It looks really cool. And this is Smirk and Dagger. I remember when he launched the Kickstarter, and really neat looking. And the books have
Smirk and Dagger.
Really cool.
Alex Cutler is the designer,
pieces.
along with Michael Mihalsik. The artist is Naomi Lord, and I think it has nice art as well.
Yeah.
On the right there, it said solo. So I thought you were picking a solo game.
Oh no, it has a solo. It has a solo mode.
Yeah.
Solo
it says
solitaire game.
you must beat the game's rival, Penelope Everready. So
Nice.
I'm ready to take on Penelope Everready.
That art reminded me of Flamecraft on that one too.
Yeah. I do like that kind of art. And then this is a game for 1 to 4 players. And it says it's like a real kind of Zen-like, relaxed. You're not hate drafting. You're not take that. None of that kind of thing. You're just going out and finding the books you want. So there you go.
Neat.
Place for all my books.
My next one is my number 2 is Furnace Duel. Is based off a fantastic engine builder. I forget when it was released. It's probably one of my favorite games of that year. It's still a great. Furnace is a great engine building auction bidding game.
I sold it
right there. It's got multi-use cards, and also the best way of bidding is if you don't always want to win a card, you want to lose so you can get resources off that card. That's the mechanic where if you don't win, you get the resources listed on it times whatever number you bid on it. So, and this looks like it's just what they've done is pared it down to be a 2-player Furnace, because I can see the same chips as the bidding chips as Furnace itself. It's done. Wow. I can't pronounce the alternate name. It's in Russian. It says designer Audrey Kulopov and Ivan Lashin, and it's publisher Hobby World.
It's probably going to come out in the U.S. by Arcane Wonders, I bet.
Is that who did it last? I thought. Let me see. It doesn't say Arcane Wonders.
Well, Arcane Wonders is the one that has the other one, the normal.
I thought
Furnace.
Hobby World did.
Yeah,
Hobby World.
Well, click.
But it says Arcane Wonders.
More. Yeah.
But this one is actually rated higher than the original.
Well, less people.
Right.
But
I definitely will be getting this and checking it out. And not much more say if you No furnace, what you do is, I think it's over 4 rounds, and you're bidding. You have a row of cards, and you're bidding on each one. You take turns bidding, and with chips, usually numbered 1 through 4. And if you win the bid, you take the card into your engine. Otherwise, you take the resources on the card at the top, and the bottom part is the engine part. So what you're doing is, it allows you every round. You can play it this way. That's how we usually play it, is where you can change the order every round of the engine. So you don't have, you're not stuck with the cards in the certain order, because what you're wanting to do is build one off the other. Use this one to work towards that one and get points. And it's a fantastic engine builder. If you've not played it, go out and play it now. And hopefully this 2-player version lives up to the original. And that's Furnace Duel.
Cool.
It looks good. People that like Furnace really like Furnace. I can
Yes,
say that.
It is an excellent game.
All right. Podcast's going a little bit long, but we're gonna get to the end of it real fast. Before we do our number one, I think James and I are sharing a number one. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let
Yes.
James really describe the main part of it. But before we do that, I got a couple of honorable mentions, and then we'll go around table. Mine are really quick, because obviously they're honorable mentions. My number one. One honorable mention is the fact that they're coming out with a Sims board game, which I thought was very interesting. Apparently, it doesn't have anything to do with the Sims other than using art and the little things the crystals that appear above their heads.
Oh my gosh.
It looks kind of neat. Apparently, it's not bad, but I'm assuming it doesn't even look like a Sims game. Like, I don't look at this and think, oh, I'm going to play the Sims. I'm going to play a Euro game based in the Sims world is really what it looks like.
Oh, it's a Euro game. It's not a storytelling game.
No, I don't even know what it is. But anyway, that's the Sims. I thought for sure George was going to add this one, so I kind of skipped it, but it's Living Forest Duel. It looks like it's just Living Forest. Same thing with Furnace Duel. It's the same game, but kind of pared down.
Yep.
But it has a little bit more, because I don't remember this kind of stuff going on. Or maybe it was. It's like
What kind of stuff?
These little forest tiles being.
Oh
next
yeah.
to each
Oh
other
yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff? Oh, okay.
well, not next to each other. Not next to each other. No.
I don't know, but
You
the
collected them and you put them in your space, but they didn't have the rivers that connected them. No.
I gotcha. Okay, so there's
That's
a little
different.
bit of differences here, but yeah, you're playing. It looks like you're doing the same pressure luck, play your cards before you get so many of the bad symbols, and you get the resources that it shows or whatnot. So
Yeah.
I like Living Forest a lot. And yeah, and then the last one I have is the Forest Shuffle Dartmoor. It's a standalone, which is pretty cool. Hopefully every bit of it will be able to be integrated with the original game. And not
Yeah, more cards is always better
yeah.
in that game.
Well, and I object to it being Dartmoor, the southwest of England. I think it should have been the southwest of Ireland. It should have been Forest Shuffle Kerry.
Fair enough.
That would have been better.
But those are my honorable mentions, just to do them really quick.
All right, good. My honorable mention is one that is honorable mention because it's a party game and just a little party game, but it's Booba Kiki, and it's named after the
Nice.
the Booba Kiki effect, which is a linguistic thing that says that when you present the word booba to various groups, regardless of their cultural background, and you present the word kiki to them, and you give them a picture of a rounded shape and a picture of a spiky shape, they will invariably associate booba with rounded and kiki with jagged. And so that effect is evidence of the way that we have certain predilections, certain instincts for sound being associated with particular meaning. And so I've talked about this in my class.
I've learned so much on this episode. I'm not even
Yes.
joking. It's like an educational podcast.
German Santa Claus rabbits, yeah, we've learned a lot. But, but I've used this. I've talked about the Bubakiki effect in my class where I'm teaching ASL because of the idea that your sensory perception, the way that you use your senses to make sense of the world around you, can influence the way that you approach language and approach meaning. And so, deaf people and sign language is, by its very nature, quite different than spoken linear English. Anyway. Now there's a game about it. I think that's fantastic. So the game presents you with 3 sounds, if you will, and gives you a shape. And then you're selecting which of those is going to be associated with that shape most in your mind. And you want to agree with the group. That's really pretty much it, which is, it's funny enough, but that could have been it. But no, they came up with a set of missions and scenario book that tells stories about meeting aliens and dealing with the aliens in different ways. Like not just like one little scenario, like it goes through 5 different things. And then there's another one for, your mediums and you're dealing with ghosts. And there's another one. I mean, like all these different things, they didn't have to do that. I think it's a fantastic addition to this idea. I think it's going to be hilarious.
Nice.
The Bubakiki effect.
Is that your, you got any more? All right, cool. What's your honorable mention, James? And then after James, George, you do your number 1, and then we'll let James do his.
I have just 2 quick honorable mentions. Since I didn't think Harvest I was kind of on the fence with it. I think I was at the moment when I was playing it thinking this might need an expansion to make it better. And they do. They have an expansion coming out. I don't know if it'll make it better or not for me, but hopefully it will. I'd like to check into it because especially if you have the box, I think the guy sold me for cheap, the ultimate edition or whatever it's called. And it's got a lot of space for things that I guess expansions and stuff for it to come out later. So I definitely want to try this just to see if it improves the game for me. That's all why that's one. I keep losing
I like the art of Harvest. I really like the presentation.
Yes.
I'm worried. I've heard people say it's a bit mean.
My other one was Guildlands. It's a city building tile laying game. That's what, like maybe think Carcassonne kind of, but pattern building. I think you're trying to put down tiles to make patterns. And so you can score that way. I don't know too much about it since it's my honorable mention. I looked at it and I was like, this looks neat.
I did the same thing. I looked at it and I was like, man, this looks really cool. Maybe I'll put it on there. And it didn't.
Yeah, that's how I was like, yeah, this looks neat and all. But I mean, I definitely want to try this before I even purchase it or anything. But that's why it's on my honorable mention. I would like to try it, but I'm kind of leery about it just because I already have a bunch of tile laying games.
Right.
Fair enough.
It looks like you're just trying to build patterns and score that way with your meeples there. Some Captain Hook looking guy there. But so that's Guildlands.
All right, George, is this your most excited one?
This is my most excited one.
Let's do it.
This is it. This is my most excited one. It is called Viking Route. And Viking Route is by Guido Albini, Martino Chiacchiera, and Luca Maragno. The artist is Alberto Orso, and the publisher is Ares Games. The reason I'm most excited about this one is because it's a evolution of a game that I have called The Faceless. And in The Faceless, you had...
the magnet game?
Yes, magnets around the outside that determined where you had to go with your compass playing piece, which is an incredible thing. This time, and that was a cooperative, fairly simple cooperative game where you played cards to generate effects, but there weren't enough cards that did enough things, and it was over rather quickly. And so the whole magnet thing was integral, but it wasn't enough. And now they've gone and they've taken that idea and they've made it into this Viking game where you're still represented by the compass, but around the outside, the magnets are Odin's ravens. And then in the middle of the board, instead of having this nightmare monster that is affecting you magnetically, there is a piece that represents the wind. So it's like the goddess of the wind, basically, which makes sense. And you're going around with these characters now that have character abilities, and they are running about on a Viking ship. If I can find it, I can't. There it is. So they're on a Viking ship as you sail around these various maps, and the maps are different parts of the Norse saga. So you'll be fighting against the Midgard serpent, and there's Loki, and there's a kraken, and okay, that's not particularly Norse, but you get the idea. There's Fenrir the wolf, right? There's all these things. So there's different scenarios that do different things. You have different things you're trying to accomplish as you're sailing around and really having to work with these magnets, while at the same time going to different worker location spots on the ship to make things happen as well. And you have to worry about, you know, how your, I guess, hit points of the ship or whatever, you know, is going on. So it's this much more in-depth cooperative game. And there's the wind in the middle there, and the hell, I imagine. But yeah, it looks tremendous as a evolution of the Faceless, called Viking Route.
Well, very cool.
It's definitely a George game.
Yeah.
All right, our final game we share together because
Do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, you can share. That's fine.
Okay. Final game. It's or depends on how you want to say this. Luthier or Luthier.
It's a Luthier.
Luthier.
Hold on. Keep going.
Looter. It's a looter.
Luthier for Americans, I think. This is designed by David Beck and Abe Burson, artist Vincent Dutray, and
nice
publisher Paverson Games again, who did Distilled and Class of '89.
Luthier.
Luthier.
It said it.
There's another artist, Guillaume Tavernier, as well.
Let's see how we get.
You take on the role of renowned luthiers,
Did y'all hear
crafting
that?
musical instruments for patrons like Mozart, Bach, and Beethoven. You're using a blend of hidden bidding and worker placement. It says you're all laughing. And you use 3 resources: wood, metal, and animal products to build the instruments. You fulfill patron requests and compete for prestige and performances and repairs. I do like it has multiple paths to victory.
Show some pictures.
3.75 weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks
8.2 rating.
It
You're gonna
really
have to go to
doesn't
the rule book
look
all
that
the
heavy
time.
though. Or sorry, George.
You sure? He says it doesn't look that heavy, but look at that picture right there.
I
mean,
All
mean,
that juiciness.
Yeah, but you're
Oh.
really just putting down bidding tiles on 4 different spaces
Right.
for the most part.
And you're trying to pull these people down here, your player boards, you're bringing people and you're trying to satisfy them what they want. And you're building violins or fiddles if you're from Appalachia.
No,
And,
you fiddle a violin. We had this discussion.
I'm a big bluegrass person, so yeah, fiddles. It is 90 to 150 minutes, so it's a very long game, but it looks so satisfying, crunchy and stuff.
Is that representing an orchestra there in the middle? Like, are you making all the pieces of an orchestra? Or
that's a concert hall there. It looks like.
Okay.
Let me the Zoom thing keeps getting in my way when I try to click the tabs. It looks just pretty.
It does look good, yeah.
You have a guild, so
It's
you're
not shocking though.
where you
with
can
those
replace,
artists.
build the things and teach apprentice training. You have apprentice trainings. You can have workshop expansion to go along with this. So they already have expansions out for it. You have the repair shop, the saloon, which I don't know what that's for.
To
and
unwind.
the performance where you perform.
What I thought was really interesting about this, though, is the fact that you have these bidding tokens that are blind bidding. And I think you start with like a 1, 3, and a 5 or whatever, but you place them out on those different spots. But other people can place there as well. But you don't know what number they placed. You can add assistants, which kind of modify the number. And from my understanding, it's like once you reveal, like you activate that space, right? You reveal everybody's tokens, and whoever put the most points there is going to get to go first. But then also those assistants will make the action better for you, essentially. And by going first or second or whatever, you can screw up other people's plans. So it has this little bit of a, because you might take stuff they need or whatever the case is, but
Sure.
it seems like on your turn, there's a lot to consider and a lot of things to do, but you're really just focused on mostly 4 different spaces and the stuff that they do. Maybe it's way deeper than that. I didn't obviously watch.
I don't know. It's very pretty.
Rules playthrough or anything. Yeah, it's gorgeous. So if they have this one, I will probably buy it. And it's, mostly because I like music instruments a whole lot. So
I've already got the pre-order on my computer stores ready to go for the deluxe version. It's way expensive, but I think it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
I did see a picture there. It's on Tabletop Simulator. Come on, George.
That's what we're doing next week.
Play that. Yeah.
It's all us. Let's do it, George.
Oh,
Tabletop
yeah. All
Simulator.
right.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm down. I'll come up with the playlist, the Spotify playlist.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mozart and Bach. Yeah, that's definitely my type of game. I know Tim is a musician, so am I, but I'm not as cool. I played trumpet for a long time. Middle school, high school, and college.
There you go.
But
I wouldn't call myself a musician, but I actually did play violin in the Miami Valley Orchestra.
Wow. See, I've always been fascinated by those stringed instruments, how people can, trumpet's pretty straightforward on notes. How do you know where to put your finger and make it sound good? I don't understand that.
I was last chair violinist for a number of years. That's actually true. That's true.
They felt sorry for you and just put you.
Well,
they really did. Yeah.
Better than being on the bench all season, right?
What actually happened is I did an audition, right? And at the end of the audition, I thought, well, that was terrible. I'm definitely not getting in. And the guy, the director, he said, okay, how much time do you have? Because I want to go through and tell you all the mistakes you made.
Wow.
And I was like, ouch.
That would have been my nightmare.
But I kind of, I know, but I kind of I wondered, like, is he just having me on? I was like, no, I've got time, and I shouldn't have done that, because then he went through and was like, just like, it was a lot.
And at the end, he was like, welcome to the team.
And at the end, he said, see you next week.
Wow.
But he definitely wanted to let me know his opinion of me. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we're done with this one.
Yeah.
It's Luthier. You know what? Comment below.
Luthier.
Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. So if you happen to be at Gencon, you'll at least see me, say hi, whatever. And maybe we can play some games together.